everyone, kumusta and welcome to Bisaya 24/7, your official Cebuano English tutorial on the web. Today we are going to tackle another topic that will give us a better understanding of the Cebuano dialect or the Visayan dialect. If you do find this tutorial useful, please support the page by subscribing. Also, for those of you who need a guide on understanding Cebuano or Visayan, we do have available resources on Amazon. We have two books. The first one is Bisdak, Learn to Speak Cebuano Overnight. And we have also another book for those of you who want to delve deeper into the language. We have Gamhanan, English to Cebuano Translation 101. So get ready. We are going to cover a very important topic today. So we are now on lesson number 5, and for this lesson we are going to cover the translation for the days of the week, the months in a year, the basic colors, and we will also have a few examples. So for the basic days of the week, when we say Monday, Lunes, Tuesday, Martes, Wednesday, Miércoles, Thursday, Jueves, Friday, Viernes, or sometimes some people change the B into a V sound. They say Viernes. Saturday is Sábado. Sunday, Domingo. So let's have a few examples. It's just a matter of learning some of the more common days as well as their translation as they are being used in the Cebuano Visayan dialect. Lunes Santo. Lunes is Monday, Santo is holy. So, do you know what Lunes Santo is? This is a day that is celebrated during the Lent season. So, yeah, it's Holy Monday. Miércoles Sabadlis. Miércoles is Wednesday, and Badlis. Badlis is an act of etching or drawing a line or putting a mark. So, do you know what Miércoles Sabadlis is? Again, this day is celebrated during the Lent season. So, Miércoles Sabadlis is Ash Wednesday. Now, ash, if you do the literal translation of ash, that's abo. But we don't say miércoles sa abo. Instead, we focus more on the act of etching the sign of the cross on everyone's forehead. And I'm referring to the Catholics. So, Miércoles Sabadlis, that is Ash Wednesday. Viernes Santo. Now this should be easy for you. Viernes is Friday, and again, Santo is holy. So this is Holy Friday, or for most Christians, we call this as Good Friday. Next, we have Domingo. sa pagkabanhaw. Domingo is Sunday. Pagkabanhaw. Banhaw is to come alive from the dead or to get resurrected. So, Domingo sa pagkabanhaw is Resurrection Sunday. Semana Santa. Semana is not a day in the week, rather, it is the translation for the word week. So, Semana Santa is Holy Week. Now, if you notice the way these words are pronounced is done by each syllable. So if I say miércoles, that's miércoles. Viernes, viernes. Domingo, domingo. So this is the way most of the words of the Visayan language is being pronounced. It's usually read by syllable. It's each syllable is emphasized rather. So for this, the last one, Semana Santa, that's Holy Week. Now you might wonder why am I using this days as an example. The Philippines is predominantly a Christian country, nation. So we are heavy on the traditional religious practices, and the Lent season, the Holy Week, is always celebrated, and it's like a big celebration during sometime in April each year. So just take note of this, and that should give you a good perspective of the basic days of the week and how they are used accordingly. Now let's have the months in a year. For the months in a year, we have January, that's enero. Again, I'm emphasizing that every syllable is read, it's enunciated, it's expressed. So you just say enero. February, febrero. March, marzo. April, abril. May, mayo. June, junio. July, julio. August, agosto. September, septiembre. October, octubre. November, noviembre. December, diciembre. Now we are going to have examples for the months in the year. So how do we translate January 1st or January 1? January is enero and 1 is uno. Now for those of you who haven't covered yet numbers, we have it in a separate video. We had an earlier tutorial covering numbers. Now, if you recall, there were two forms of translating the numbers. The first one was in the Spanish translation. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, and so on. And the other one is the uh, typical Visayan translation. Usa, duha, tulo, opat, lima. So for those of you, you can always review the previous tutorial that we've had on numbers. So for the dates, we use the Spanish translation of the numbers. So in this case, January 1st, that's enero uno. And then let's say February 14. February is Pebrero, and again the number 14, that's 14. May 5th. So what do you think is May 5th? Well, it's very common. It's Mayo 5. Or sometimes you can also say Cinco de Mayo. June 12th. That's Junio. 12 is 12. Junio 12. Now this is an important date in the Philippines. It's the Philippine Independence Day. December 25. That is Diciembre 25. Or some people say it Diciembre 25. The original Spanish translation. So this one is just a quick guide for you. We have adlaw. Adlaw means day. Buwan, it's month. Now buwan can also be translated in a different meaning. So if you say buwan and you're referring to buwan that you see in the sky, that's actually the moon. So buwan could be the moon, or buwan, that's the month. And then tuig. Tuig is year. Now again, I would like to emphasize that for the Visayan language or the Cebuano dialect, every combination of consonants and vowels that forms a syllable, they are pronounced separately. So some of you might read this word as twig or twig, but this is read as tu-ig. So the first syllable is tu, and the second syllable is ig. Sometimes it's easier for you to just put a hyphen in between to designate that this is the end of one syllable and this is the beginning of another syllable. So a few examples, we have adlaw sa pag-ugmad. Adlaw is day, ugmad is to labor. Pag-ugmad is the act of working. So that's basically Labor Day, a celebration of the Labor Day. Buwan sa mga kasing-kasing. Buwan is month. Kasing-kasing, when translated to English, that's the heart. Now when you say mga kasing-kasing, that's the plural form, which means hearts. Now you can probably say month for the hearts, but in simple, language, we just translate that to love month, which most of us know that it's February. So, buwan sa mga kasing-kasing, love month. Now, if you want to be specific, if you want to like translate love month and be literal about love, then you can also say buwan sa love is gugma. So that is buwan sa paghigugma, the act of loving. Paghigugma. Gugma is love. But in this case, since we are, translating it from the Cebuano equivalent, I would say the more apt translation for buwan sa mga kasing-kasing, and you'll probably hear this over the radio. That's what they always refer to. So buwan sa mga kasing-kasing, that's love month. Tuig sa eleksyon sa presidente. Now for the word election, we just borrow the English word. So it's spelled differently, but it's still the same. It's election, and the presidente. So it comes close to the original English words. Tuig sa election sa presidente. The year when we elect the president. So it's year for presidential election. Tuig sa pag-ani. Ani is to harvest. So it's as simple as that. Harvest year, or you can also say year of the harvest. Now let's have this example and let's see if we can translate this phrase, Cebuano phrase, and translate it into its English equivalent. So let me read each word for you. Kini mao ang adlaw nga gimugna sa Ginoo. Now let's do the translation. Kini, this. You learned this from a previous lesson. Kini, this, kana, that. Mao, so the mao here is used as a helping verb. So is. Ang points to the object, which is the noun. So we translate that to the. Adlaw, day. Nga, in this case we use nga to complete the context. So we have that. Gimugna. Mugna means to create or to make. Gimugna is the past tense of the verb. So we translate that to was made or was created. Have been made, have been created. Sa, in this usage, we refer to sa as by, to complete the thought. Gimugna, created by who? So, Ginoo, that's Lord or God. So by now you probably know already the translation for this phrase. Kini mao ang adlaw nga gimugna sa Ginoo. Or, based on our translation, this would be, this is the day that was created by God or by the Lord. Now, the more common translation probably would be, this is the day that the Lord has made. Either of this translation um, refers to the phrase that we have originally. Kini mao ang adlaw nga gimugna sa Ginoo. Now let's go to the colors. How do you say yellow or green or blue? Now take note that sometimes we don't even bother to translate the colors. So you can just say, oh, green or red or yellow or violet. Uh, why? Because a few people don't really bother to learn the very basic translation of the colors, and it's easier to pronounce the English equivalent of the colors. But for this lesson, I have to just cover, the translation in case some people would also speak to you in the traditional Visayan or the Cebuano dialect. So red, that's pula, or again, you can also say pua. Now in Cebuano, it's usually a W sound for an L sound. So instead of saying pula, if you're in Mindanao, pula, and then you go to Cebu, you'll probably hear pua, pua. Yellow. Yellow is dalag, dalag. When you're in Cebu, it's shortened, so you just say dag. Green, verde. I think there might be like another word. Sometimes they replace the B with a V as in vine sound. So some people would say verde. Blue, azul. Orange, color kahil. Now you might be wondering, what is this? Why is this like a two-word translation? Now for some colors, if we didn't have an original translation, we simply borrow an object that represents that color. So kahil is actually, the fruit, the orange fruit. So it's more of like a descriptive translation. So what color? Color kahil, meaning to say it's the color of the orange fruit. So you can just say orange or color kahil. In most cases, people probably would understand better if you just say orange instead of saying color kahil. Violet. Now again, for this one, I think the translation is just borrowed from the original word, violet, and it's just spelled in, Cebuano or the Visayan equivalent. Pink, rosa. Now even this, you can just say color rosa, which is rosa is like the rose, so it's like rose colored. So again, it's more of a borrowed reference to an object. Gray, gray is abuhon, and abu, as I've mentioned or earlier, is ash. So it's again formed by trying to connect it to something that's colored gray. So the ash or ashes are usually, colored gray. So you say gray is abuhon. So abuhon meaning to say it's somewhat, gray. There's a hint of gray. Um, Golden yellow or simply golden. You can say that it's color bulawan. Now bulawan is the Visayan equivalent for gold. So color bulawan simply means gold. Color gold or golden yellow. White, puti. Black, itom. So among these colors that we have here, I would say the more used translations would be for red, that's pula, dalag for yellow, verde for green, and then once in a while, yeah, the blue is translated to azul. And then puti and itom. The other colors are just typically, expressed in English. Now we have another set of examples for you to gain, more understanding of the language. So the first one we have, say a sample question. Unsa ang color sa akong mata? So let's do a translation for each word. Unsa, that's what. Um, ang color, the color. Sa, of. Mata is eyes or eye. Ako, that's the possessive of mine. So that would be what is the color of my eyes or my eye. And then let's have the answer. Itom ang kolor sa imong mata. Itom is black. Ang color, the color. Sa, of. Imong mata. Imo is yours. So imong mata, your eyes. Now the translation I have here is the color of your eyes is black. But if you do like the literal translation starting with itom, so you would say black is the color of your eyes. Next we have unsay color sa iyang sayal. Unsa again is what, and we have I, that's like a helping verb or a connector. So it doesn't sound broken. So we have unsay color, what is the color. Sa, of. Sayal, sayal is skirt. Iya, it's a possessive pronoun. Her, so here we just assume that it's a female. But you could also say his, because iya is not specific as to the gender. So you can just say, what is the color of her skirt? Or what is the color of his skirt? Unsay color sa iyang sayal? The answer, puti ang color sa iyang sayal. Iyang sayal, his or her skirt. But in my example, I just put her skirt. Puti ang color. So in my translation again, I started with the color of her skirt is white. But if you start translating from the original phrase, puti ang color sa iyang sayal, puti is white. So I can just say, white is the color of her skirt. The next one. Tinuod ba nga medyo abuhon ang kolor sa akong buhok? Tinuod. Tinuod means true. Then followed by the word ba. Now again, when you use the word ba, it changes it into a question, a form of asking. So, tinuod ba? Is it true that nga medyo? So medyo here expresses a form of like a hint or um, a slight reference. So medyo abuhon, meaning to say it's not really gray. It's just slightly gray. It's just a hint of gray. Abuhon is gray. Ang color, the color. Sa, of. Ako, mine. Buhok, hair. Tinuod ba nga medyo abuhon ang color sa akong buhok? Is it true that the color of my hair is... Now, this is where we translate it to the medyo abuhon. Instead of saying gray, because I said medyo, we say grayish. So there's just a hint of gray, or it's slightly gray. But if we didn't have the word medio or medyo, then we can just say, tinuod ba nga abuhon ang color sa akong buhok? Is it true that the color of my hair is gray? Now for the answer, we have oo. Oo is affirmation. Yes. Tinuod nga medyo abuhon ang color sa imong buhok. Yes, tinuod, it's true that nga medyo abuhon, grayish, ang color, the color, sa, of, imong buhok, your hair. Yes, it is true that the color of your hair is grayish. Pula ba ang atong isuot karong umaabot nga Pebrero 14? Pula or puwa, that's red. Ba. So when we say pula ba, is it red? So we're turning it into a question. Pula ba ang. So it refers to the object. Atong, ato is ours. Isuot. Suot is wear. Isuot, going to wear. Karon. Karon, if we translate the literal karon, that would mean now. But when we say karong umaabot, that means we are pointing to a specific event or a future, it's a future reference of a time. So when I say karong umaabot, I'm referring to something that's coming up. Nga, okay, nga, that specifies what. And in this case, we have a date. So that's Pebrero 14, or that's February 14th. So the question here, when we translate that, that's basically asking, are we wearing red this coming February 14th? Umaabot. Abot is to arrive. So umaabot, it is still bound to arrive, or in other words, it's coming. Now the answer, dili pula. Now dili here is negation. So it means not. So when I say pula, oo pula, that means yes, red. If I say dili pula, it's not red. So the answer is dili pula, ang atong isuot. Ato is we, us, our. So isuot again, suot to wear. So what we are going to wear. So we are not going to wear red. Dili pula ang atong isuot. Kun dili color puti. Kun dili here is used to express an alternative. So an option. Or we can just say instead. So for the full translation, it is we are not going to wear red, but so white instead. Now for this, you could say but color white instead, but I just shortened it to white. So it's dili pula ang atong isuot kun dili color puti. We are not going to wear red, but white instead. Or we can also say but color white instead. So take note of if you encounter kundili. Kundili is like the alternate, and usually it's the opposite of what was previously stated. Unsa ang imo nga paborito nga color? Unsa is what? Imo, yours. Paborito, again, this is probably easy. Favorite. So what is your favorite color? Ang color bulawan mao ang akong paborito nga color. The color gold is my favorite color. Okay. Unsa ang pinakanindot nga color para kanimo? Now, nindot is nice or beautiful. When you say pinaka, you're expressing superlative. So you mean the most or the best. So this question is asking, unsa, what, ang pinakanindot is the most beautiful or is the nicest color para kanimo, for kanimo, you. So unsa ang pinakanindot nga color para kanimo? What is the most beautiful color for you? Color rosas mao ang pinakanindot nga color para kanako. Pink is the most beautiful color for me. Unsa ang pinakaangayan nga color para kaniya? Again, we're using superlative here. And angayan. So angayan meaning to say it fits or it matches perfectly. So that when you translate pinakaangayan, that means the most fitting or the color that matches perfectly. For kaniya, kaniya is genderless, so it could be a male or a female. So what is the most fitting color for him or her? Berde mao ang pinakaangayan nga color para kaniya. Green is the most fitting color for him or her. So I think that covers all of the basic premise for the translation of the days, the months, as well as the basic colors. Before we end this tutorial, I'm reminding you again that we have books available and they are on Amazon. And you can just read the titles here. And I'm looking forward to see you again soon in the next tutorial. And if you do have questions or comments or a certain topic that you think is important that you would like me to cover, feel free to write them down in the comment section. And thank you for supporting this channel. Daghang salamat.